Well, hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, today we're going to talk about, this is kind of a continuation of our Newbies edition. And there'll be a lot of you guys that might be interested in this series as well. Not just newbies, but especially for the newbies is why I'm doing these video series. Now there's a 1 and a 2 in the series of Newbies edition, and I'm going to add this video to the playlist. So this video I entitled Brass, Bullets, and Newbies. So to include it in our Newbies edition. But what I'm going to talk about is collecting brass, cleaning brass, collecting it. Where can we collect it? How can we get it? And when we do get it, what do we do with it? Do we need to clean it? And if we do, how do we clean it? And also I'm going to talk about a little bit. I'm going to talk about buying bullets or casting bullets. That kind of thing. So if you're interested in this video series and these videos, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're watching these videos and you're not subscribed yet, I assure you will enjoy these videos from now on, because this is the kind of thing that I do. So go ahead and subscribe. And here's what we've got. So in the beginning of the series, I was talking about some brass that I cleaned, and what I done was I grabbed a couple of big handfuls like this, more than that, overflowing 2 handfuls of brass, two of those, as you can see, and I put it in a bucket, and I just cleaned it for about 15 minutes, and they turned out, beautiful. That's the brass right there. Okay, so whatever blemishes there are, that's what they are, and this is what the brass looked like beforehand, right there. Okay, so relatively clean to start with, not real ratty and bad. So I'm going to show you because what we need to talk about is, do we use to clean brass, do we need a vibratory tumbler with media in there to clean our brass, like this thing right here with media in it and brass? And things do get dusty, like people say, and people argue with me all the time on wet tumbling brass, and they're right. It's a cleaner, neater way to go. But we don't necessarily need a brass tumbler that can cost $100 to $200 depending on which one you choose. But if you want one, by all means, that is a good way to go. But in this video, I'll even show you what you use to clean with if you're using one, or if you're just going to wash them by hand like I'm going to show you today. So I want to encourage the new folks and everybody out there to, I know components are hard to get right now, but just go ahead and keep collecting your brass, keep cleaning your brass, keep casting your bullets, do everything that you can do leading up to when the components come back. Okay, so that's what some of this video is about. So to start with, before we get into the bullets, let me show you how I clean this brass right here. Alright, and I just did a hand wash is what I done. Okay, so those bullets, those cases look great. I'm going to move these out of the way. And what I done today though is I chose some nastier brass. Alright, because that brass looked like it cleaned up pretty good, because the brass wasn't really bad to start with. This brass has a lot of patina, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we're going to take a look at this brass. So what I've done is I just got a container right here, and I'm going to show you. This is the normal mix that everybody wants to use, and it's a great mix. Just some dish detergent of whatever brand you like. This is the one that I like, and some Lemmy Shine, and this Lemmy Shine lasts a long time. And in future videos, I'm going to show you something else that you can do with this as well. Okay, and it's pretty cool. So here's what we're going to do. Now, I don't have hot running water in the shop. So what I've done is I just put a pot of water on a hot plate. And the water is hot to the touch, like it would be like, you know, the hottest water you get out of your spigot is what I have in here. It's just regular tap water. So I'm going to put a little bit in here to start with. And then I'm going to try my best to measure this. I don't know if I can measure it. I never measure it. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm just going to put it in here, and it's going to hit the spoon. That's probably it. For a gallon of water, I'd say this is more of a serving spoon instead of a I'd say a tablespoon. I don't know. We'll go with a big tablespoonful, okay, for a gallon of water. That's what we'll do. And another thing about this is when you're measuring the amount of soap, it's going to have a little bit to do with how dirty your brass is, just like how dirty your dishes are. We'll hit it with another little squirt there, okay? So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add the rest of this water. I'd say this is about a gallon of water, okay? Or almost. Okay, so now here's how much Lemmy Shine that I use. We'll drop it in the spoon. Whoop, that's probably too much. Yep, definitely. That's definitely more than I use. Now the thing about Lemmy Shine, let's talk about that for just a second. That's about how much Lemmy Shine that I use. That's too much even. Trying to get the perfect amount, right? That's how much I use right there. About a half a tablespoon is about what I use. Now here's the thing about Lemmy Shine. It's a citric acid, and it will turn your brass green or pink or other colors that are undesirable. Alright? So when you're hand washing brass, the idea is you don't want your brass to just sit there for any length of time. Okay? So previously what I've done is I put my brass in the solution, and no more than 3 minutes will I let it just sit here. But I do want it to sit here. I don't have to work it the whole time. I'm going to let it sit here now for 15 minutes. So maybe 5 times I'll stir this in 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. That's it. It's in there. And I'm just going to stir it around. And you see how dirty that brass was. So before I turn the camera off and bring you back again, I'm going to let you see what it looks like right away after just a quick stir. What was that, about a 15-second stir? Let's take a look at it. Already, I probably don't need to do anymore. Look at this. I mean, well, I do need to do a little bit more, but look at that already. It's already like that, okay? So 15 minutes, I'm going to stir it at least every 3 minutes. But you don't let this stuff sit around in that citric acid, because it'll have watermarks on it or drip marks on it, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do that, and I'll bring you back and we'll see what this brass looks like. Now it looks great right out of the gate already. Alright, so it's been 13 minutes, and honestly, I probably stirred it vigorously maybe 8 times in that 13 minutes, lasting maybe 30 seconds a piece or something like that. So we'll just take a look at it and see what it looks like. I really wanted it to look good, you know, so I did give it a good stir. But That's what it looks like right now. So I'm going to just pour this water off of it, and we're going to take a look at it. So I'm just, what I've done is I just poured it right into my powder coating basket, is what I've done. All right. So now, and that's the residue in the bucket, with the Lemmy Shine in there, and you know, you seen the water in the spoon just now. So it didn't look as bad as I've seen before. So we'll just dump it out. In the shop, we always have plenty of old towels and stuff, you know. So let's take a look at this brass. This is just a hand washing. One of the things that I do is I'll grab a towel, a lot of us do, and we kind of do this little toss back and forth like this. It'll get all the water out of the case, and see that? Just rock it back and forth. I just lost one. Went a little crazy. So, and then what we do is we just spread them out. Just spread them out, and in a fan, you know, have a fan on it or whatever. And now the only thing I didn't do because of time is I didn't throw a little water on it to rinse it. I would say that's probably a good idea to do that. But now this brass here was, I may have used a little bit too much Lemmy Shine. Look at this brass and look at that brass. Yeah, I think I did. I used a little bit too much Lemmy Shine, so there you go. So using this pail that I was using kind of threw me off. But that's what happens when you use too much. So, but look at that brass. I mean, it looks great. So now here's the deal with brass for the newbies. You know, brass, it don't even have to be clean, you know, to load it. You know, it just needs to be, you know, free of debris, obviously. But I definitely recommend cleaning your brass in some way, or you know, however you see fit. You know, make sure there's no rocks and pebbles inside of it, and no dirt inside of it. And I don't even, I rarely ever, you know, deprime and then clean like a lot of guys do. But that's just me. So when it comes to brass, you collect it on the range, and this stuff was in pretty bad shape. And now it's just very clean. It's very clean brass. It's cleaner than I normally have that I load. But so there you go. There's the mix. You know, I never buy brass. I pick it up at the range. I get it from people that shoot and don't want to keep it, and then I just collect it. Now here's a case right here where there's a 40 cal with a 9mm in it. Y'all probably seen that, and I just seen it. I just picked up on it. So anyway, there's your brass. I should probably just throw that in a rinse real quick. I'll just throw a little bit of water in there. Just throw a little bit of water in there. You see the soap in there, so I needed to give it a rinse. See if it looks any different now. There's the brass right there. Looks great. And that was just now if this was your brass that you were shooting from new brass, or your brass that you were shooting from brass that was already clean, but this is all range brass. It's been picked up because it's been sitting there a while, turning and all that kind of thing, collecting mud. So now that's it for collecting brass and cleaning brass. You know, you can do the hand wash. and you don't have to, you know, go broke, you know, collecting all this stuff that we need. And then, you know, the other thing is you know, bullets. So, you know, we can also, if you belong to a range, for instance, we can collect, you know, the range scrap in the berm if the range you go to will allow you to pick up the lead out of the berm, that kind of thing. And, you know, you'll end up with, you know, lead like this. You know, nasty lead that's been in the berm. A bunch of bullets that people shoot, and you just get to pick it up like that. You know, you could do that, and those are good for, you know, most of your, you know, at least most of your low pressure rounds, you know, that we shoot and powder coat. So you know, you can cast your own bullets. You know, you can buy jacketed bullets, or you can buy plated bullets. And I usually, if I was going to buy them, I've had this stuff for a long time, but if I was going to buy them, I would buy the cheapest. You know, if I can buy plated bullets cheaper, I would buy those. That's how I would do it. So next, the next thing is you can also buy cast bullets. You know, and you know, you'll find cast bullets online that are, you know, high-tech coated or powder coated, those kind of things, you know, from companies like Missouri Bullets and Acme Bullets and those kind of companies. Look around, you know, shop around, find the best deal, find the best bullet, that kind of thing. So, you know, because components are so hard to find right now. So, so there's the vibratory tumbler, you know, to clean your brass. You know, for me, I use my vibratory tumbler for other things as well, and but I probably, you know, honestly, I do big batches of brass, and sometimes I'll end up putting them in the concrete mixer. That's how I do it. But certainly if you're loading, you know, for a rifle and that kind of thing, where you have clean brass that you're shooting and reloading, that stuff cleans up even faster than this range brass that we're picking up, you know, that kind of thing. So I think that's about it. You know, clean your brass, you know, save yourself a ton of money, and these are the kind of bullets that you need to find, you know, but we have plenty to do until that time comes. So hopefully this helped somebody out, and give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.